What is going on, everybody? It's the Frost, and we are here for our SmackDown review for last night's episode of SmackDown. The last episode of SmackDown I will be reviewing for the year, as I'm taking next week off from Monday 23rd to Saturday the 28th. We will not be doing anything as we will have. I'm sorry, my bad. Sunday the 22nd, there's going to be no unscripted this week. To Saturday the 28th, there will be no content on this channel, so this is the final SmackDown we will be reviewing. What's going to happen next Saturday is I'm going to take my own perspective and look back at AEW's first year from the day they made the announcement of the company being made to now, where they are and what they need to do to improve, because there are a lot of things they need to improve, but that's neither here nor there. This was the holiday edition of SmackDown. And what does that usually entail when it comes to SmackDown? Well, we get a traditional Miracle on 34th Street fight, which is, again, one of the most annoying, stupid matches I don't want to see them do completely. I hate these episodes because of this. If you weren't a woman in this show, you didn't have a singles match. There were nothing but tag team matches for the men. We had three singles matches, and they were all women's. So I see that WWE is like, well, AEW is doing a bunch of tag team wrestling, so let's do a bunch of tag team wrestling. I am tag team wrestling out right now. I like tag team wrestling. I don't know anyone who doesn't like tag team wrestling, but we see way too much of it. Plain and simple. AEW needs to find their balance with tag team wrestling, and what they've been doing lately is just way too much. So we go right to the ring, and out comes Daniel Bryan to a pop, and the yes chance, the yes movement is in full effect. He heads to the ring, doing the old yes that he does. Takes the mic. He says he's not sure where he went a few weeks ago when people asked him, "Where'd you go?" I don't know. But last thing I remember is getting pulled down to the darkest steps and having the Fiend rip out my beard and my hair. When I came to and got cleaned up, which means he shaved the rest of himself down and everything, I looked in the mirror and didn't notice the beard or the hair missing, which is his brand, because Daniel Bryan, since 2013, has had at least 2013, had the long beard, the long hair. It's on all of his shirts. When you have like a face of Daniel Bryan, it's the guy with the beard and the long hair. It didn't, and it was gone, but it didn't feel lacking. Then I got home and saw my daughter, who was seeing me the first time without my facial hair, and she cried and was scared. She didn't know who I was. All she knew was Daniel Bryan, the brand. She didn't recognize me, but I recognized myself. I saw what I saw in this mirror when I looked in the mirror was the man who never main evented WrestleMania. The guy who had to scratch and claw to get everything that he deserved. The same man that kicked Wyatt's ass at TLC, calls Wyatt to the ring, but out comes The Miz. But before we get to that, I do like the little detail we had here is that before Daniel Bryan said anything, Corey Graves and Michael Cole welcomed us to the show, and Corey Graves said something to the effect of Wyatt might, like, the Fiend, like, Daniel Bryan has to work with the Fiend, has to deal with the Fiend, but Bray Wyatt might have to enter the Dragon, or deal with the Dragon, which is a callback to the fact that Daniel Bryan's persona in Ring of Honor and everywhere else is the American Dragon. So I like that little callback to his American Dragon days. Miz talks about Wyatt's violating he and his family. TLC was about protecting his family. It wasn't about wins or losses. Something Wyatt will never have, even though we know that Wyndham Rotundo has a kid, at least with JoJo. Miz says all Wyatt has is his title. The music hits, and out comes Baron Corbin, and I'm sitting here thinking, can we go one opening segment without Baron Corbin? Just one, please, just one. No. The last, what was it, 3, 4, like the last month or so, every opening segment, I swear, has Baron Corbin in it. Why? Because Vince McMahon sees Baron Corbin as a top heel when he really hasn't been a top heel, period. Oh boy. He taunts Brian and says his daughter was scared because he looked like Baby Yoda. Ha ha ha. Oh, good grief. Don't disrespect the Baby Yoda like that. Corbin says Brian's brand is a failure. He talks about being Hall of Famer Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 35 and brags about the TLC win over Roman Reigns. You have this clown sitting here taunting these two when both guys have main evented WrestleMania. Yes, you beat Kurt Angle at WrestleMania, but have you main evented WrestleMania, Corbin? No. Miz main evented with John Cena. Wasn't a good WrestleMania main event, but he main evented WrestleMania. Daniel Bryan main evented WrestleMania in one of the biggest moments of the decade. Let's see. Both of them multiple time champions. Both of them have held a lot of more gold than Baron Corbin has. Both of them are former WWE champions. So where does Baron Corbin get the idea to think that he can sit here and taunt these two because he won King of the Ring and he beat Kurt Angle? Whoop the freaking do. When was the last time that it mattered that you beat Kurt Angle? 10 years ago? 15 years ago? Kurt Angle in 2019, beating him is not the same as beating 2006 Kurt Angle. Give me a break. Corbin pretty much came out there and just taunted and made it sound and tried to make himself sound like this big badass, and he's not. Again, two guys he's taunting who have been WWE champion, Intercontinental champion, United States champion, tag team champion. Daniel Bryan has been US champion too, right? Yeah, I think so. Either way. These guys have had more championships than Baron Corbin has even had championship matches. Give me a break. Yes, he's a former United States champion and Andre the Giant Battle Royal winner and King of the Ring. But again, two guys who have main evented WrestleMania when you biggest matches against Kurt Angle at WrestleMania. Whoop the freaking do! The only reason that match would have meant anything to anybody is had it been for him facing John Cena, which he did not. So again, Baron Corbin looks like a fucking idiot. An idiot coming out there like, oh, you guys are failures, you're brands and you guys suck, but I beat Kurt Angle at WrestleMania. Nobody cares. Corbin is in the ring. He doesn't care about the personal issues with the Fiend because Wyatt has what he wants. Corbin says due to his win over Reigns at TLC, I'm next in line for the Universal title. Yeah, you know, the same guy who hasn't been in the title picture since October of last year when he relinquished the Universal title. He's been doing things with the Shield at the beginning of the year. He's been nowhere. He's not had a championship match this entire year. This will be the first time probably since 2014 that 2014 was it? That Roman Reigns does not have a championship match for WWE or Universal title. That's just crazy. Corbin says not only has Bryan and Miz failed as WWE superstars, they have failed as fathers. My goodness. Of course he was going to go that route. Bryan and Miz look at each other, toss their mics, and stare Corbin down as he backs up. Dolph Ziggler runs in from behind and takes out Bryan's knee. Then super kicks the Miz. Ziggler shoves Bryan into the end of days and Corbin. Ziggler and Corbin stand tall and the fans boo. What did you think we were getting as our main event? It's a tag team match, player. And again, Baron Corbin for the umpteenth time in a row in the main event of a SmackDown show. This is one of those things that a lot of people would say if this wasn't their job, they would have turned this thing off right then and there and not watched the show. This was horrendous. But it was getting interesting because you had Daniel Bryan and The Miz who want Bray Wyatt, and then all of a sudden you had to bring out Baron Corbin. And when we get to next Friday, they're telling you don't need to watch SmackDown because again, Baron Corbin's going to be in the main event again. They give you at least a week to let you know that. After making we see what happened to The Miz and Bryan, we confirms that we're going to have The Miz and Bryan versus Corbin and Dolph Ziggler for the main event. We see presents and holiday food ringside as Cole says is backstage with Kathy Kelly. She is with Heavy Machinery who are wearing Santa Claus hats and jackets under their denim vest. They're confident about winning tonight's Miracle on 34th Street fight. and spreading massive holiday joy. Mandy Rose appears and says she picked Otis in the Secret Santa game, and she says, "Well, I saw what happened last week, and here," gives him a ham, a Christmas ham, and that's not all. She just gives him a nice kiss on the cheek and says, "Merry Christmas, Otis," and walks off. So she made Otis's night right then and there. They come out. He gives it to Grace and tells him to take care of it. Out come the Revival, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder, who has been reported yesterday on Friday that they are going to be the new comedy team. What happened last week when Dash Wilder, I believe it was Dash Wilder, fell on his ass? It was supposed to be the start of their new character change, where they're a comedic team. So WWE is going out of the way. Vince McMahon is not happy that these guys still have not signed a new contract, and he's going to do everything he can to discredit them and just make them feel like garbage. Talk about the pettiness. These guys are doing this right. They're coming in, doing their time, getting the reps, and working the schedule that you have for them. If you're not happy with the fact that they're not signing a new contract, then take them off television. Do you want another Dean Ambrose where they are on TV until their final day of their final scheduled date, and then next thing you know they show up in AEW the next week? Because here's the fun thing: if they don't get fired, if they don't get released, and their contracts do run out, then WWE is SOL, and they're going to have these guys go out there and show up on AEW probably the very next week, because they won't have any no compete clause behind them. What they could be doing too is that they're going to hold these guys as pretty much holding them hostage, because they know nobody, they don't want to stay here. They're going to hold them hostage, and they're going to keep them on the contract until about the last week or two of the contract, and then they'll release them, so they have another 3 months to sit at home and do nothing. So this was a Miracle on 34th Street fight, because this is the holiday tradition. I can't stand this. It's going to even be worse for in a couple years. You have Christmas be on a Friday, which is going to be in 2 years, probably next year. Let me see, 2020, December 2020. Yeah, Christmas is going to be on Friday next year. So Smackdown is still on Christmas next year. It's still on Fridays next year. You'll see this in the tape version in the Miracle on 34th Street fight then. I can't stand these things. I will say this: why the hell do we have to see a bowling ball and Legos? Every single time this match seems to happen over the last few years, there's a bowling ball, so you can have the heel roll the bowling ball in between the babyface's balls. And then you have Otis brings out a black bag, and it is Legos. I would take glass, I would take thumbtacks over a Legos in my bag any day of the week. Do you know what it feels like to have Legos step on Legos? Of course, the ham got knocked off when the Revival threw Tucker into the announce desk, and they start kicking that around, slamming it around, Otis getting upset. He beats the hell out of both these guys. Otis won this match on his own practically. After the ham was taken out, Otis goes batshit crazy on these two, ends up putting Dawson onto the Legos. He had Dash Wilder on top of him in a electric chair, and you could hear Dash Wilder saying, "Oh God, no, Otis, no, please, no, God, no." He probably thought he was gonna get backdropped into the Legos, which, if I'm in his position and someone has me up in the electric chair and I see Legos on the ground, I'm sitting there like, "No, please, God." I'd be doing the same thing. "No, God, no, please, no, don't do it." But no, he gets Scott Dawson into the fallaway slam position and drops both guys at the same time. Caterpillar on Dawson, Compactor 1, 2, 3, and Heavy Machinery win. Otis brings what's left of the ham back into the ring, which it's a freaking ham. It wasn't a cut ham, so it was a pre-cooked ham, and that you buy at your local store, and it was definitely already cooked. But it wasn't like it was a spiral cut ham, so Yeah, he's licking the ham as we see after they come back from replays. We go backstage and see Dana Brooke, who just signed a new 5-year contract with WWE, so congratulations to her. I guess that explains why she's been on TV lately. Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss come up to her and they have a little talk back then, and Lacey Evans and her daughter shows up. So this is actually the first time we actually see Lacey Evans' daughter on television. Back from break and we see Otis standing. We see Otis walking the ham. He stops Sonya Deville, sees Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. Sonya walks off to get to the match. Otis apologizes to Rose what happened to the ham. She says it's alright and hugs him. Otis is thrilled, but Rose is now covered in meat sweats. She looks disgusted. You can see she's just all completely sweat, like there's sweat all over her top. She looks like she got hit with a couple water balloons. It looks so bad. We go back to break and we go back to the ring and the Revival. Scott Dawson then points out that the garbage around the ring, not just the fans but the trash. Wilder goes on about how they're facing a different gimmick each week and at their expense, a Miracle on 34 Street Fight, ladder matches, and more. Is this their legacy? Which ladder match was actually pretty good on Sunday, so I don't know what they're complaining about that. That was good tag team wrestling. A ladder match every once in a while is not a bad thing, but the Miracle on 34 Street Fight, please get rid of those. Dawson says that's the key word, wrestling, because it's gone. Now we're in the sports entertainment, and the guitar, Elias comes out, plays them a Christmas tune on his guitar, and walks out on the stage and asks who wants to walk with Elias. He performs a song and takes shots at Revival. He says that they want to be top guys, they need to be major changes like Caitlyn Jenner. Got a huge reaction from the crowd. Elias wishes them a Merry Christmas and walks to the back. Again, these guys are going to be the comedy group. Yay! I can't wait till these guys' contracts come up because they deserve much better than this. Braun Strowman's backstage when Sami Zayn walks in. He picks Braun Strowman in the Secret Santa game and isn't sure what to get him. Strowman is surprised because Sami Zayn has spent the past few months knocking the meaning of the holidays. Stands up and who comes in Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. They have some words, and Braun says that Sami wants to give him a gift and he can give him a Intercontinental Championship match against Shinsuke Nakamura. Sami says they can't do it because they have a big tag team match tonight, but he will check his list and check his list twice and keep it in mind. Sami leaves with Cesaro and Nakamura. So yes, this was reported a couple weeks ago, or last week or so, that the Intercontinental title was supposed to be on the line at TLC against Braun Strowman, but Braun Strowman was injured. That's why it didn't happen. So it looks like we're going to be getting that at the Royal Rumble. Carmella vs. Sonya Deville. This is the first time we've seen Carmella or Sonya Deville in singles action in a while. This was one of 3 matches for the ladies. Like I said, if you want a women's wrestler and you wanted some singles action between the guys, you didn't get that. It was all tag team matches. Not much happens here. Code of silence for the tap out. Carmella is your winner. And that's pretty much it. Then we go right into where Carmella is making her exit, but she is interrupted by the New Day. She actually does she actually says the words of the Biggie thing, Biggie's introduction while it's happening. They come out. Kofi Kingston and Biggie are out. They dance with Carmella. They do some invisible jump roping with Carmella, which was kind of funny. And then we turn teaser for Sheamus, which he said when he left SmackDown, it changed, but not for the good. He says the soul left with him, and all that is because it left as cowards and crybabies. He says in his absence, the once great House of Warriors and Temple of Titans has become sad, soft, and small. This will change because the Kelton Warrior is back and the do battle for a soul of SmackDown. We go right to the ring. Here's my problem. Sheamus, these promos, it would make sense if you had a guy like a John Cena or The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, who, if they came, like The Rock, if he came back and was like, when I was here, this place meant something, this place had soul, this place had heart, and now it's gone. Sheamus is not like a game changer. He's not. Him coming out there saying, oh well, when I was here, SmackDown had soul. SmackDown lost its soul after the 2017 Superstar shakeup. SmackDown lost its soul when Jinder Mahal won the WWE Championship and had that awful title run. Sheamus coming back is not going to make the big difference as he's making it sound like he's going to. Hell, if anybody remembers, Sheamus won the WWE Championship in 2015, and that was the worst thing they ever did with that championship, other than give it to Roman Reigns, which they did in like a week or so later. Sheamus might make a little bit of a difference, but if it's not Sheamus and Cesaro, I honestly don't give a shit. So you have yourself a match here between the Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura and the New Day. They're going back and forth. They're hitting hard. Sami Zayn getting involved at the end of the match. Nakamura drops Big E with the apron, and Cesaro rolls Kofi for a close 2 count. Cesaro with the Cesaro swing on Kofi in the middle of the ring, swinging him for several times. Cesaro with a stomp to the chest for another close pin. Cesaro goes for the neutralize, but Kofi back drops in. They tangle on. So Kofi rolls him up for the 1, 2, 3. After the match, the music hits, but Nakamura comes in and nails Kofi from behind, and these 3 guys, Sami Zayn, Cesaro, and Nakamura, just beat the living daylights out of these guys until, of course, Braun Strowman makes the save. He takes these guys all 3 out, and is left standing. So again, we're going to have Shinsuke Nakamura versus Braun Strowman. And honestly, Nakamura's had the title for a very long time. It's been months. I think he won it from Finn Balor back at like Extreme Rules or something. And yeah. Here's a person, Daniel Bryan's backstage, and they thank him for making the save of Bryan at TLC. Bryan says he didn't do it for him. He did it for himself, but he saw what Bryan has done to him, The Miz, and his family. And then they do this little bit. It's like, well, just for the record, I don't like you. Well, I don't like you too. I don't like you more. I don't like you by this much. And it's like, we didn't need this bit. It wasn't funny. They've done this before with other people. It was funny probably then. It wasn't funny now. This is the night they have to work together for the main event, but after that, it is all about Wyatt. Then we go to Dana Brooke versus Bayley. This match is happening because Dana Brooke asked for a rematch. So again, this is so yeah, we're having this match here, and Bayley has Sasha Banks out with her. Dana Brooke, who ran into Lacey Evans, and Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, had nobody with her. Now you figure. So yeah, Lacey Evans is somebody who has been feuding with Bayley and Sasha Banks. Do you not think that it would have been wise for Dana Brooke to be like, hey Lacey, could you come out and like watch my back because I know? But no. She's on her own, which I guess is admirable, but she wanted to do it on her own. Like I said earlier, Dana Brooke signed a new 5-year contract. It makes sense why she's getting TV time now, because she signed that new contract. They want to give her her money worth. It'll last for a couple weeks, and then she'll be back to doing nothing because it's not. She has been showing a lot of fire. She has been showing a lot of she's been going out there and she's been kicking ass and doing showing that she can actually do something for this company. She goes out here again, has a decent match with Bayley. She does get a lot of control, but Bayley drops her with whatever that new move is called and wins the match. Banks joins in on Bayley in the ring, and they both taunt Dana Brooke while she's down. Out comes Lacey Evans to make the save. Evans rushed the ring, but Banks and Bayley retreat to the floor. Evans wants to fight, but they're not interested. Evans takes the mic and asks Banks where she's going, and calls Banks a legit bully, not a legit boss, and with no backbone, all mouth, and she challenges to a match right now. Evans tells Banks to come into the ring so she can make her a legit loser, and we go to commercial break. I'm gonna be honest here. I didn't know what to think about this Lacey Evans babyface run, but right now it's not bad. She's like, I guess it's just that her character works both ways. She's doing a hell of a job. They show CC Sabathia in the crowd for whatever reason, even though they're in Brooklyn. Lacey Evans and Sasha Banks go on to start the match. Dana Brooke and Bayley watch from ringside. Now, this match didn't last very long, and they're both on the outside. Evans drops Banks from the corner with a big boot. Evans with a knee to get the gut. And then they end up going to the outside. Evans catches Bayley trying to advance again. This allows Banks to drop a distracted Evans at ringside, sending her to the apron in the barrier. Evan's daughter and husband were conveniently sitting at ringside with her dad. Banks has Evans in front of them, and she is taunting. This was NXT Takeover Respect-esque Sasha Banks when Sasha Banks took the tiara, like the whatever it was off of Izzy and made her cry. This was getting to that level. You had Evan's daughter swiping at her. I was waiting for Banks to get a little close enough to where her daughter swipes at her and scratches her, slaps her or something, and she turns around right into the woman's right. That's what I was looking for. Because she's just getting violent. Her, like, it was getting so crazy that for Lacey Evans' daughter, that you could physically see her, like, Evans' husband holding their daughter back to make sure that she doesn't, like, fall over or actually get to Sasha Banks. This was actually good television right here, in my opinion. That was actually a lot of fun. Again, I was hoping that we would have seen she would have got something on Sasha Banks, and where she got snicked her or something, and she turned around right into the woman's right. I think that would have been good television. But Banks continues to taunt Evans' daughter. Evans has had enough, and she snaps, launching her into the barricade, beating the living piss out of her. Dana Brooke and the referee are trying to pull her off of her. They finally do. The referee gets in between the two sides. Evans and Brooks stand tall in the ring as Evans' music hits. Banks and Bayley retreat up the ramp. Obviously, the match going into the Royal Rumble is going to be Lacey Evans versus Bayley. It's just so obvious. We have enough weeks for them to get that built up. And honestly, again, I'm really surprised that I'm saying it, but Lacey Evans to me feels like a better babyface than a heel. Will it last forever? No, because the gimmick works well as a heel. She just needs the time. But it just seems like what they're doing with her right now is actually working for her. And then we get our main event. The Miz and Daniel Bryan versus Corbin and Dolph Ziggler. This was just bleh. Ziggler is not what he used to be. Daniel Bryan's always fun every time he's out there in the ring. Miz sucks as a babyface, and Baron Corbin sucks as a heel. So, Miz blocks a super kick, gets to the figure four in the middle of the ring. Bryan runs in and drops Corbin, breaking the submission up, hitting a flying knee. Bryan sends Corbin out to the floor. Ziggler taps out, and then right away, as soon as this match is over, we get announced that next week, Miz versus Bryan versus Baron Corbin, for the winner will challenge the Fiend at the Royal Rumble. So you're telling me not to watch next week because I'm going to have to deal with Baron Corbin in a triple threat match. Even though I would have to say that actually is to the benefit of Baron Corbin. Is Baron Corbin winning? No. Do you really want to see Baron Corbin versus The Fiend? No. There's no reason for Baron Corbin versus The Fiend. I have a feeling that Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin is not done yet. And next week, Baron Corbin is going to be he'll hit like the end of days or something, or he'll be in the match, and he'll be taken out by Roman Reigns, or Roman Reigns will make his presence known, sending Baron Corbin off, and then we get Baron Corbin versus Roman Reigns again at the Royal Rumble in some kind of stipulation match, and we go on from there. Now, the lights start to go down as if the Fiend's going to make his presence known. They go halfway down, and then you get the Fiend's laugh as we go off the air. I hate holiday editions of SmackDown and Raw. Since Raw is taped, which I'm glad it's taped, doesn't mean I have to watch it. But it's just, I don't care right now. SmackDown is just SmackDown. They've paid $1 billion. They've paid $1 billion for this crap. And it has been crap. Anybody who says SmackDown has not been crap since they feel like they have been worse than they were on the USA Network. And the USA Network the last year and a half have been terrible. So SmackDown is got one more match. We got one more episode of SmackDown for the decade and the year. 2 for Raw. One, of course, Raw is going to be taped. No NXT that I'm going to care about next week as well, because it's all going to be taped as well since it is Christmas. No AEW next week. No Unscripted this weekend. This is the final episode. This is the final video we are having for this week, and for at least about a week. So this is Saturday. We will be back in 7 days. Nothing going on till then. But that is your SmackDown for the week of December 21st, 2019. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Twitter at The France Club. Find me on twitch.tv/The France Club. Go check out The France Plays, my gaming content channel, and I'll see you guys in a week. Have a happy holidays, and I'll see you guys later.